Welcome back to the farm, everybody. We have woken up this morning and are having celebratory pancakes because this morning we woke up to
50,000 subscribers on our channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining the fun and for supporting us on this adventure.
very warm welcome to anybody who's recently joined us, and a huge thank you to all of you that have been with us right from the very beginning.
Crusoe's busy looking at, well, we are joined this week by Jits into the Sunset, Adam, Tania and Adam. And we're going to be answering some of your questions that you left in the comments box last week.
Thank you so much for everybody who did leave us a question.
Big questions like, how much did we pay for the farm? Why did we choose Portugal? And
I mean, I want to know all of those.
So grateful to have them here. They are an unbelievable help. And if you don't follow them already, please go and check out their channel and their Instagram. An amazing force for good and the most incredible travel creators that we know.
so it's Jits into the Sunset. Super easy.
So let's crack on. First with the pancakes and then with the questions.
Perfect. I've basically emptied
Oh my goodness.
my pancake.
That is brilliant.
How did he manage to eat the entire? Okay, well, thanks, Crusoe. Yeah.
And now he's having
Now he
yours.
wants yours.
What's going on, love?
We have run out of water again.
Oh no.
But it's not such a big deal this time. I know all about this water system. Having been here now for several months, we've worked it out and we've also made backup plans and contingencies. So this is a really great opportunity actually to clean out the water tank and make sure that it's nice and ready for the next time we fill it up, which will be very shortly.
We got her. Jits needs to have a shower.
Jits need to have a shower, yeah.
There
I'm
you
not saying
go.
anything about Adam's hygiene. But
We're both very stinky people. Let's watch the man in action. Because I know we have loads of questions from your community about your plans for the farm. In particular, we've got two great questions from two Australians. So Paul has asked you, what are your plans for the farm?
I suppose it's an evolution, isn't it? We want to make it a great home for our
We
children.
want to develop a homestead that's providing enough food for us. We want to take it completely off-grid. That's a huge goal. And the water's a big start of that, isn't it? Because it is off-grid already.
It is mega. Part of persisting with this water system is just to make sure that we can be off-grid one day.
Yeah.
And actually, that's a great question that we had from Susan, also from Australia. And she wants to know, is the farm big enough to be a working farm, or is it going to be quite self-sustainable?
We've got just shy of 3 acres here on the farm. And once upon a time, it was a really high-functioning working wine farm.
Look at all these wine bottles up here,
Loads
and
of
that's
wine
half
bottles.
of it.
And there's the press and the stomping, I don't know what that, the stomping pool and stuff. And obviously, if you've seen our previous episodes, you've seen that we've got lots and lots of grapevines on the farm. I think for us though, the chances of it becoming a huge working farm are probably pretty slim for the moment. We would love to get it to the point where it is a self-sustaining homestead that we could live off as a family. And if it's producing more that we could then sell at a market or share with the community, then that would just be the dream. So I suppose it's big enough to be both depending on how you use it, but for us it's just going to be self-sustaining.
Well, with Crusoe, it looks like it's on its way to be a working farm. Look at you, buddy! Good job!
Well done, my boy.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Susan. Thanks,
Those were
Paul.
great questions.
After asking for your questions in last week's episode, we received over 2,000 comments, and most of them were questions. So thank you so much to all of you. We hope that we're going to be able to answer the most burning questions today, and in time, we'll do our best to answer the rest as this farm and project gradually comes to life.
So understandably so, we have gotten so many questions from your community about the pregnancy. First of all, how are you doing?
I'm all right. I am getting tired. We're just starting to edge towards getting into the 3rd trimester, so I'm definitely starting to feel heavier and a lot more tired. I think the 2nd pregnancy is more tiring because you're looking after one of these simultaneously while growing a human. Hey, buddy.
So tell us, when is the baby due? And where are you going to have the baby? Have you picked out a name? all the stuff.
The baby is due around about the end of September. We have decided that we're going to go back to the UK to have the baby. As reluctant as we are to leave the farm, we think it's the right thing to do, so we'll be doing that. We have picked out a name and we do know what we're having, but we're not going to tell you yet. You'll have to wait and see.
Ooh, so bad. Will your
But-
Patreons find out?
The Patreons already know, I think. Yeah, the Patreons already know what we're having, actually. So if you just can't wait, then come on over and join us on Patreon. And if you've got any guesses about names, leave them in the comments below, because I'd love to know what you think we're going to name number 2. Because obviously, Crusoe is quite an unusual name. And we want to try and find something that kind of, you know, is also as unusual and interesting. So
Adventurous.
exactly. So we think we've
kids.
settled on one. It might change, but if anybody's got any guesses or suggestions, drop them in the box, please.
I think one of the things that your community really, really loves about you is how huge travelers you and John are. And one of the most frequently asked questions is, are you planning on traveling with baby number 2?
Yes, of course.
Yes, 100%, man. Yes. How could we not?
Yeah, we absolutely will. Like, we will always love traveling, and I'm really excited about the challenge of traveling with 2 in a way. As Crusoe's got older, like, there's been lots of different challenges that have come up, and he's needed more stuff in some ways and less stuff in other ways. And you know, as he gets more mobile, it's a completely different ball game. Like when we did our overland Africa trip, we started off with Crusoe being completely immobile, and it was so easy because you could just, like, you know, stick him in his chair and he would just hang out. By the time we finished, he was crawling, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a completely different ball game. And now he's all over the place. So you know, to now be going with a newborn and with Crusoe, it'll be really, really interesting. We're not entirely sure when our first trip will be or where it will be to, but it's definitely on the cards, because we will always be travellers at heart. And as much as we're putting down roots and sort of settling in Portugal, I think there'll always be travel interspersed.
And knowing you guys, it's going to be somewhere really exciting,
Yeah.
off the beaten track, far flung, really
We would
interesting, really
love
exciting.
that.
With
We'll
lots
see.
to look forward to.
Yeah,
Amazing.
absolutely. Where they gone, buddy? I think they've got wise to your ways, my boy.
Yes.
Yeah. How's the pip fishing going, darling?
I think I'm almost there. This chutney looks delicious. More on that next week. How are you getting on?
Well, that was an incredible chat with your mum, and it has just brought this entire site to life. So I'm sat here using MyHeritage, who are the sponsors of today's video. So a huge thanks to them. And we are currently building our family tree. John, mum, has been able to take us back, right back to like great-great-great-grandpa James, born in 1910. Yeah.
What did Mum say about snakes and ladders and all sorts of stuff?
I do remember her. Whenever I went to stage, she wanted to play snakes and ladders.
Oh, wow.
The only trouble was she was absolutely convinced that you went down the ladders and up the snakes.
What a great thing to remember, Mum.
That's
Love
so
it.
cool.
What's beautiful about that as well is that memory now is with us.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't stop.
So it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you don't know about MyHeritage, it is the #1 family history service in Europe. They've got over 16 billion records on here. So you can find out all sorts of things about your ancestors by just inputting some really simple details like birth dates, place of birth, if you know it, death dates and place of death. And it was really cool to kind of watch these records pop up, and then you can open them, see if it's the right one, match it to your relative, save it to your family tree.
Brilliant,
It's
isn't it?
fantastic.
I mean, you're on a computer anyway, probably watching a YouTube video.
Yeah, so why not head over and see what your family tree is all about?
Yeah, it'll be an interesting way to spend an afternoon, that's for sure.
The other amazing thing that you can do is you can repair, animate and colorize old black and white photographs. So if you think MyHeritage is something that you would enjoy, please click on the link below in the description. You'll get a 14-day free trial, and if you decide
Brilliant.
to extend your subscription after that, you get 50% off.
In cleaning all of that out, I have created an airlock in the system. That's okay though, because there's plenty of water in the houses that's now flowing with gravity back out of the system in the house. and pushing all the way back up the up to the well, up the other end. And hopefully what's happening is it's pushing the airlock back up, and then when I switch it back on, all the water will just come gushing back out.
Moment of truth. Almost. See
So that's the bit. That's basically the bit that I put in. So if there's an airlock, we switch this one off, which is allowing the air to flow out or creating the airlock. And this one, that's where we plug in, and then it shoots the air back up the pipe and out to the well, and hopefully we switch on and we get water coming up. Good news. Kind of. Yeah, it would normally be a lot more than that.
Oh dear, that's stopped.
Yeah. Okay. Now we just wait for the well to fill back up.
Okay.
Come back later and it should be just fine.
So if you remember the last time we had a problem with the water, John rolled our old water tank down to the bottom field to catch our overflow. So what we're going to do now is put all of us to work with some buckets and just ferry a few buckets of that water up here and put it into our tank at the top, so that at least we've got water going into the houses. We don't cause any more airlocks, and we're able to kind of flush toilets and wash dishes and stuff. Fingers crossed. John's just checked the well and the level in the well is fine. So again, more figuring out to do. It's just constant, isn't it? It's such a beautiful morning this morning. We've had quite a cold couple of days in Portugal, and even this morning it's really chilly. So if you've been following us on Instagram, you'll have seen that we've all been kind of wrapped up in jumpers and things. Today is the first day I think it's going to get over 25 degrees, so hopefully we can all enjoy some sunshine and crack on with some projects that we've been desperate to do. I'm excited to just hang out today and get some stuff done. Nice work. Come stay with the newbies, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
I'm so pleased that we did this the last time we had a problem. Yeah, you can't get in it right now, Crusoe. It's literally, this is going to save the day today. So we've got plans later on, maybe in a couple of weeks' time, to build a swimming pool just at the top. It's going to be great fun, and that will also, not really a swimming pool, not really a swimming pool, kind of a swimming pool, but we'll show you a little bit later. But yeah, that will also be a really great backup plan.
So, and time for another question. Bhavna from India asked how difficult it's been to settle in one place after being used to life on the road.
Yeah, really great question, whoever asked that. I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah. So it's been really interesting, and it's kind of been a bit twofold. For me, it's been really, really easy. I am a homemaker. I love being at home. Oh, Tanya's getting in on the bucket game. I love making a home. I love getting into a routine, and I really enjoy having, you know, a home base. That's not to say I don't enjoy traveling. You know, it's kind of it's a balance thing. What's been really interesting is that John is the kind of person that is constantly looking for the next destination. Dad. Yeah, Dad's down there. And is like spends his life on Skyscanner looking for cheap flights and trying to find deals. Since we've been in Portugal, he hasn't done that. So I think it's safe to say he's also really enjoyed the adjustment of being in one place for a little bit. We will always be travellers at heart. We will always travel. But it's really nice to feel the roots sinking in somewhere a little bit too. That looks like an empty bucket.
Apparently we don't need any more, so I came at the right time.
Love it. How are we doing, boys?
I think we're low on water. Yeah, it seems, I think it's got the overflow is there.
Okay.
It's a trickle. I think we just want to make it, fill it up again and see how we get along. But
is it coming out when you turn the tap on now?
It was.
Okay, now it's
Yeah,
stopped.
but that will have been the water that's kicking back,
Right.
coming back down the pipe.
Okay.
But the airlock was cleared.
So the system works.
The system works. Yeah. It's all about learning on this farm, and we're doing a heck of a lot of it. That water system, something that in the beginning was really gnarly and quite frightening. Nowadays, when it hiccups, when there's a problem with it, we just know what to do. And that's the thing about learning on a farm. It's all just about experimenting and trying new things. Now, because Jits are here, I've been thinking, what can we do with Jits that would be a little bit exciting, something a little bit different? And I've got an idea with these bottles right here of what we can do. So I'm going to take them outside and I'm going to see if they can guess what we're going to do with those bottles. Let's take a green one. We've got 3 different colours here. We've got green, white and brown. Okay, team.
What's up?
I have got a bottle here.
Right.
And
It used to have wine in it. We're going to do something with it.
put more wine in it.
That'd be a good idea. I love it. It's going to be an hour-long project or so, and at the end of it, we're going to have something quite good fun.
What are we
What
going to
is
have?
it?
Let's make a lampshade.
Hey, nice.
Love
What's
it.
this? There's plastic cases on them.
Yeah, plastic case. You can cut it off and we can just go for the glass bottle.
Have you got the stuff we need?
I've got it, yeah. I picked it up,
Have you?
yeah, the other day in Leroy
Oh my
Merlin.
gosh, oh, that's so cool.
Okay, while we're here, we should answer another question as well and then go and make the lamp.
Yep, I know one. So there's one from Nigel at Quirky Drift Art.
Yes, well
And
done.
He has asked.
He's
a
one of our
patron
patrons,
yours.
yeah, he's one of our patrons.
And he has asked, how did you two meet?
I'll pass the camera over to you for that one, Adam.
But we met in an office. We sat next to each other
Yeah.
at a job about 7 or 8 years ago.
So here's the story of exactly the first moments that we spied each other. We were both working in a travel company, and the requisite to get into that company was to have a university degree. Tara's got one, I don't have one. And as I walked through the door for my first day on the job, Tara literally looked at me disgusted, thinking, how on earth did he get a job working here? He doesn't have a degree. I, on the other hand, walked through the door and went, that is the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my whole entire life.
Oh, darling, you are good, aren't you?
Yeah. And then it took me a whole bunch of years and lots of very good personality and humour and a whole bunch of...
Even if you do say so yourself.
Yeah.
And anyway, here we are.
Here we are. Right, let's go make lamps.
Let's go make lamps.
Yay! Come on, Kusa.
Sylvie in Los Angeles and Hannah in South Africa asked us, how did we find our farm and whereabouts is it located?
We get asked this question a lot, so hopefully if anybody's looking in Portugal, this is a bit of useful information for you. Our farm is located in northern Portugal. We are in the Porto district. We found this property on a website called Immo Virtual, and we will link it in the description below. So do check it out. Talk more about costs at the end of the video, so stick around.
Absolutely.
Okay, I've just put Crusoe down to sleep. We've paused lamp making because next up is going to be the recording of the Jits podcast. If you haven't listened to Jits' podcast yet, head on over to whatever platform you get your podcasts from. They're Jits Into the Sunset. We're currently recording episode 4.
Yeah.
So there's already 3 for you to go and listen to. They are honestly one of the best podcasts I've listened to in ages.
And these guys are going to be our first guests. This is the first interview we've done on our podcast, so super exciting.
We feel very, 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 very privileged. So we should get recording.
I'm going to press my interesting button.
Yeah. That's why he's drinking some coffee.
Good.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to think of something cool to say.
And we just hope Crusoe's going to stay asleep.
So there's definitely one big juicy question that everyone's been asking, probably 1,000+ comments.
Yeah.
People want to know,
How much did it cost to buy this farm?
Yeah, great question. And a little bit shy question as well, you know, because you're sharing quite a lot when you answer a question like that. In short, we paid just around about £80,000 for this place. Mm-hmm. That's more expensive, I think, than other parts of Portugal. But what we've got with that is these huge trees, and we've got 4 buildings actually. A lot of grass, a lot of green, and we're really not out in the sticks. We're quite close to 2 big towns. We've got full 4G as we're sat here at the moment. There's fibre broadband just up the road if we want to connect to it. And we've got all of this space and these beautiful views. So it's brought us quite a lot.
You know, we're so fortunate to have been able to find this place and to be able to provide this kind of home for our children for that kind of money when you think about the comparison.
All of the land, you know. And we've got water on site.
Yeah.
and my follow-up question is, how do you manage to afford this?
That is a good question. It's quite a long-winded answer. So should we make some lunch and then we can answer it over lunch?
Sounds great to me.
Sounds like a plan. I'm hungry.
Let's not forget.
Podcasting is hungry work.
It is,
hungry
man.
work.
I'm starving.
And arts and crafts, also hungry work.
Yeah.
So, how do we earn money? Good question.
It is a good question because
Thanks, Crusoe. We've had a YouTube channel now for nearly 2 years, and in that time, YouTube has basically paid us very little. There have been a few spikes, and wow, there have been a few spikes along the road, but nothing that would sustain a family of 3, and certainly nothing that would really pay for us to travel. So, in the last couple of years, mostly we've been living off of savings.
yeah.
We also have done some work along the way as well. I've been working for an old company every now and then to keep the pennies coming in.
Yeah, the exciting thing about having so many of you guys join us on our YouTube channel, and every time you do anything with any of our content and you interact with it with a like or a comment or a share with your friends, it really does help our channel enormously, and we're so grateful to all of you because
Thank you.
Now that we're growing a little bit, it does mean that the ad revenue coming from YouTube increases, and it means that we can hopefully get to a point where YouTube is funding life a little bit more than it has been in the past, or just funding part of life anyway.
Yeah.
And the other really exciting thing which happens, which I don't think many people understand, because I certainly didn't understand it before I was in this space, is that we are now also in the really exciting space of talking to brands about doing some sponsored episodes, which this one is. We've got our first sponsorship in this episode, which is super exciting because, again, it's another revenue stream and another way of earning some money. And if any of the brands that we work with, who we've carefully chosen because we think that they will resonate with our community, but they're also great brands and they do amazing work with what they're offering.
Should really emphasize that we get approached by nowadays, which is great. We get approached by quite a lot of different companies, everything from selling toothbrushes to weird, I don't know, gadgets. But the paid for promotions, the guys that we're talking to and we'll be shouting out once every week or 2 weeks, and we really believe that their products would be useful to you guys and interesting as well.
Yeah. And if they do resonate, you know, you do think that maybe it would be something that you would like in your life. The way that you could support our channel is by clicking on our link in the description and going through to that brand in that direction. But brand sponsorships is one way that we will be making a little bit of extra money to fund our life as well. So it's an interesting one. And I think a lot of people don't really understand how YouTube pays and how these projects can possibly be funded, and it is tricky. It's not, and it's never guaranteed, and it's very up and down, but you guys are all a huge part of that, and for that we can only say
100%.
Thank you.
100%. Without you, there isn't this channel, and without you, we wouldn't be able to earn a little bit of money. The third way is, of course, Patreon. It's a small growing community over there on our Patreon channel. You can subscribe and get exclusive content from us. We upload around about twice a month, new exclusive content that the YouTube channel won't be getting. And you can subscribe for as little as £3 for that. It's super easy. You just go to patreon.com/the newbies, fill out a few details, and then you can get to see a whole bunch of back catalogue and exclusive content. What's next?
Lunch.
Next question, which is a really interesting one. What's that, Crusoe? Yeah, okay, Crusoe's coming too. When are we going to start renovating the inside of the properties and the buildings themselves? Okay, it's a question we don't know the answer to. All we know is that we've got 3 buildings on this property that really need a lot of work, and we've got a whole bunch of ideas for other projects, like little hobbit houses under the ground and tree houses. We want to be able to put in a nice wild swimming place, certainly for the duck and for ourselves, that we can swim there. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of landscaping here, and alongside all of that, we're going to be putting fruits and vegetables in the ground so that we can live sustainably off grid. We're going to want to build water irrigation systems and all kinds of stuff. It's going to be brilliant fun. What we're doing at the moment is kind of treading water a little bit, and that's the honest thing. You know, you'll have noticed we've built tables today. We're building some lamps. We've also done a little bit of painting, and we've done some fixing of the water, and we've done a lot of landscape clearing. And there's a real solid reason for that. We are so keen to understand this property, to know what it's got to offer, to feel it and to fall in love with it before we start bashing it around. That might seem a little bit hippie, it might seem a little bit weird, or like, come on guys, just get on with it. But I think it's really important before we start saying, okay, we're going to lift the roof off of this building and we're going to start knocking down walls, to know why we're going to do that and what the reason for it is at the moment. We really want to get it right before we start bashing things around. And we hope that you'll be patient with us whilst we do that, whilst we go through that process. That doesn't mean that big projects won't be happening along the way. They really will. And in fact, we've got 2 or 3 big projects on the go right now that we'll be sharing with you in future episodes. And we can't wait to do that. But just if you can, just hang on in there. These big buildings, they're going to get bashed around soon enough. That's for sure. Where's Crusoe?
Right, we think we have the only duck in the world that doesn't like water.
So we're trying to get some practice in.
Crusoe, come watch the duck swim, buddy. So proud of you, buddy.
If you're a parent of any small creature, you'll know what I mean when I say that there is a special place in your heart for the people that love your children and animals like you do. So we wanted to say the hugest thank you to our friends Tania and Adam for coming to see us and for loving our babies. We all worked really hard this week with videos to put together and podcasts to record and edit, but it's all part of this crazy old life we live as content creators, and we love it. We can't wait to hang out again, and if you haven't checked out their channel or Instagram yet, then please do. We guarantee you'll absolutely love it. And their latest podcast episode features us as their first guests and has loads more answers to your questions.
Okay, that's it. We've got 4 lamps. 4 lamps, rock and roll. They are there. Okay, so we were on the questions and then we got carried away with bottles. Are we going to learn Portuguese? Of course we are. We're in the process of doing that at the moment and we'll tell you more about that in a couple of weeks. Next question, is this our forever home? That's a great question. We're not entirely sure, to be honest. I think we're definitely going to be here for a long time because we are loving it, but we don't know if it's our forever home. Let's see.
Loads of people are asking about homeschooling. Do you have any thoughts on that? Are you going to homeschool? Are you going to put the kids in school here?
It's a question. I don't actually have a definitive answer for that just yet.
Quick, it's quick fire.
Okay, I don't know.
Okay, nice. Are you going to fit out another van?
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
What's happened to Safari?
Oh, that was a good question. Safari has a new home and a new family who, as far as we know, are absolutely loving it.
We sold Safari because we knew with the advent of another baby on the way, there just wouldn't be enough space in there for 4 of us.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that van life is over for us, though.
Never. I don't think van life would ever be over.
Maybe
We
can
covered
combo-
these quick.
I was going to say exactly the same thing. Follow-on question. Will you ever do a convoy with jits?
Yeah!
That'd be fun.
Of course
Brilliant.
we will. That would be amazing.
I've got a question, which I know lots of people have been asking.
Yeah.
What are your travel plans for the future?
I think the most likely scenario is that we go to India sometime in the new year. But nothing is certain and we haven't decided yet.
Are we going to get more animals to join duck and chicken on the farm?
In time. I think for the moment I'm kind of feeling like a toddler, a newborn, a duck and a chicken is enough.
Yeah, just want to show you something. For everybody out there that's wondering, where do the duck and the chicken live? Have we built them a chicken pen, a chicken coop? The answer to that is no, but we are putting them in cardboard box in the nighttime with lovely straw on the bottom of it, and we're taking them inside so they can be inside and nice and safe. During the daytime, they're running around with us.
And they've got loads of food and water in different places.
Loads of
They've
food
got
and water.
everything they need. And they have had more cuddles than 2 birds, I think, ever have ever
Ever,
had.
ever.
Exactly.
Look at them chilling out in that tent. That is
And now
hilarious.
they've just commandeered Crusoe's tent.
Have a look at this. What did we do before we became van lifers and Portugal homestead farm owners?
We worked in the travel industry. So John used to work in the polar industry.
I did.
And I used to work in the safari industry for a Tanzania safari company.
Absolutely. Now, if you're interested in either of those destinations, leave us a comment below because sometime in the future, we might be putting together a trip to one or both of those destinations. And it would be interesting to see how many of you guys would be interested in coming along with us to one of those very, very, very cool destinations.
So another question I reckon a lot of people want to know is, will you be making this place into an Airbnb anywhere, or will it be like a campsite?
We might. It depends on which direction it all goes in. At the moment, there are no firm plans to make this into an Airbnb or a park up because it's kind of feeling like our home. But
We
a few
do have
people to come and
ideas to
stay.
build lots of places where that people could stay, though,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the Hobbit house and the tree house. and that.
Exactly. We've got some quite fun ideas. There's bits of the farm that are kind of quite nice and tucked away, and so we were thinking, we could put tree houses in there, or we could put a hobbit house in there, or something quite quirky or different, and that would be really fun. So maybe in time.
Well, we hope that episode was enlightening and fun for you to watch.
Yeah, thank you so much for all of your questions. It's so wonderful to hear from you all each week. And this was particularly special because it feels like we get to connect with you a little bit more.
Share a little bit more of our journey with you. Just to let everybody know, we counted up how many countries people mentioned in the comments last week, and we had over 50 countries mentioned. That is absolutely amazing. That's almost as many countries as Tara's been to.
Yeah, that's so cool. So thank you for joining us from all over the world.
Yeah,
I love it.
The person from Greenland, I forget your name, but what?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Anyway, we are going to head off, I think, and just crack on with
We are.
various projects going on around the farm.
We are.
But
What's
thank
coming
you.
up next week?
Well, we're getting stuck into trying to get rid of that bamboo.
We're getting stuck into the bamboo next week.
We've got some harvesting to do. We've got some trees kind of kicking off on the farm with lots of fruit. So it's all getting very exciting.
Yeah, lots and lots to look forward to. And of course, The week after that, your cousin is coming, isn't it?
Yeah, we got more visitors.
More visitors.
Love it.
Brilliant. If you're interested in the podcast, which of course you are.
Yeah, of course you are. And there's loads. I mean, we answered so many more questions on there too, different kinds of questions, and talked about some really cool stuff. It's Jits Into the Sunset on whatever platform you get your podcasts from. I think the one most popular at the moment is Spotify, so go and check it out.
Yeah.
We would love to hear your feedback. There's a code word at the end of the podcast, so if you get it, DM Jits Into the Sunset or us with the code word. We'd love to know who's listened to it, and we'll see you there.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, folks. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up, leave us a comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and join our journey, and we'll see you next week.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, one and all. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
What's happened?
Well, because Jits are here,
Yeah.
I was thinking about recharging the battery for the lights so
Yeah.
that we can sit down here this evening. And I put my hand up here.
Oh no! Oh my god!
Look at that.
No!
Gnarly, man. That, I mean, literally, I put my finger right there.
Guys, you have to come and have a look at this. Everything has to pause.
What is it?
Honestly.
Did you nearly get bit by a snake or something?
Look at that, man.
Holy!
I just
Wait,
literally.
what is it? A dung beetle?
I mean, it's a bit bigger than a dung beetle, surely.
It's a beetle.
Whoa.
I have never
So-
seen anything like that in my
Neither,
life.
man. That is nice.
Making me itch a bit.
Are they mating?
Oh! Oh my goodness.
Holy macaroni.
Oh, too. I see the other one.
Yeah.
Dude, do you know what it is? It's like an antler beat. Like, those are his antlers, you know, like the same like a stag would be. Like a...
Yeah.
So it
Do they
doesn't do
not
anything?
Pinch? They don't pinch.
I don't know if those ones do pins. I can't see how they would come together.
Google Lens says it's a stag beetle. The European stag beetle is one of the best known species of stag beetle in Western Europe. It's listed as near threatened by the IUCN Red List. Wow, read more about that. Hang on a minute.
So you've got an endangered animal knocking around on your farm.
Okay, wait. Can we all just pause because Crusoe's gone to go and get himself a plum?
Yeah, there we go.
You'll be able to climb the tree in a minute.
We will be able to climb the tree soon. Yeah. You get a plum, Crusoe? Have you got a mandible down there? There we go.